Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be starting a new Walking Dead What If. It's what if Lori survived in The Walking Dead. So let's get into it. So we'd see the Walkers break into the prison. Well, not really break in, they were already in the prison, but you get it. Andrew basically made them, Andrew made them get free. He made the Walkers follow the group in their thingy. So yeah. But now the question is, how am I gonna have Lori survive this time? Well, instead of just Maggie and Carl coming with Lori, this time Carl and Carol, and also Maggie, and also Herschel, and also T-Dog, and also Beth would all actually go with Lori, but Glenn and also Oscar and also Axel and also Daryl and also Rick are all able to come and save the others, because all of them together, I feel like Lori, T-Dog, Herschel, Beth, Maggie, and Carl, they could hold off the Walkers for a little, and that's where the group can save them. Well, not really the group, just Axel, Oscar, Rick, and Daryl, and also Glenn. Anyways, Lori would collapse, and the group would bring her inside the cell block, and then Herschel would see that Lori's having a baby. And because of Herschel being around when Lori's giving birth, since Herschel's here, Lori's baby, aka baby Judith, would be born with no problems, and this is how Lori would survive. And anyways, Rick would find out that Andrew is still alive, and he's the reason that the Walkers came, and he's the reason why Lori almost died. So Rick and Daryl and also Glenn go out to look for Andrew. And the second they go out, they see Andrew waiting for them, and Andrew would have a bat in his hand, and he'd smack Glenn in the face with it. But Daryl and Rick end up saving Glenn because they both end up shooting Andrew, and Andrew's dead. And this time it's not Glenn and Maggie going to get the baby formula. It's obviously Glenn's not going because he's injured, and Maggie's not going to go. But Herschel never lost his leg, so she might go. But the people who go are just Rick and Daryl. So yeah, still dumb. I don't really mean still, but they're the ones getting the baby formula this time. And Daryl would have a conversation with Rick about baby Judith, and if he thinks he can keep her alive and safe, because remember, they already have another kid in the group, Carl. And in which Rick would reply, he just doesn't know, if he can keep the entire group safe and, by himself, because he's the only person who steps up to make the hard decisions, having to take care of all the group and his whole family, and having to sort out the supplies. It's just a lot to sort out, that Rick would say. And Daryl would actually understand that Rick, that Rick is he can't just be dealing with everything by himself, so Daryl would offer to help, but just as then, they're already at the store. And Rick and Daryl step out the car, and they'd see a familiar face, Merle. And Merle would start laughing, and And Rick, seeing Merle, he'd raise his gun because they don't really. Because remember, Merle, for the half of like season 3, Merle was a villain, but like after the group like went to save Glenn and Maggie, he became a part of the group and a good guy. But on the other hand, Daryl is happy to see his brother Merle being alive. Because remember, Daryl thought Merle was dead on that rooftop back in season 1. Because Merle cut his hand off. And Merle would start laughing, and he's happy to see that his brother Daryl's doing well. And Merle would say that he lives in a community and they can feel free to come with him and live there as well. And Merle would say if there's anyone else with them that they can come as well. Because this time, because of Daryl and Rick being there, except of Glenn and Maggie, Merle would be much calmer because Merle's brother Daryl's here, so he wouldn't be as hostile as in the original. And in which Rick would say they can see it out, but if Merle's lying, and if it's some sort of trap, they'll be leaving peacefully, and that's just gonna be it. And Daryl would just say we could give it a shot, and if Merle's lying, that just let Daryl talk to him. And Merle would say just get in his car, and then Rick would say first he has to get baby formula for his little, because he just had another baby, like just another kid, so yeah. And they just drive off afterwards, and when they get to the place Merle was talking about, Daryl and Rick are shocked to see a peaceful place with and there's just people like living the life that people normally used to in the old world. And Merle would tell Rick and Daryl to go get their group to come here, and yeah, that's just it. And the group have found a safe place. And Daryl and Rick leave, and Merle would go to his leader. Merle's leader is a man called the Governor, and we'd see 2 other people along with the Governor. A man called Martinez and another man called Milton. And that's where I'll be leaving things off for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and this was just I just set it up for what if Lori survived, and we're gonna start getting into the proper story very soon, because this is just the beginning.